So the next Subaru project has finally begun, and basically what I'm doing on this one is a restoration. A lot of restoration going on here. You guys remember how the back looked when we bought it? Yeah, I'm going through grinding off all the rust and then sealing it. Here's a spot that still has to be worked on. Also made sure to clean up the the suspension and the wheel well. I'm gonna probably put some new struts on there. I made sure to pay special attention to the suspension and the wheel well. This is where a lot of that rust and that nasty stuff collects. As you can see here, it starts in here. So my goal here is to basically go through the entire underbody of the car with a wire wheel, grind all the rust off, and then reseal it. And this is a very important step to preserving the GC Impreza. You know, the car's 20 years old. The coatings and stuff, they don't last forever. You do have to redo it. And that's what we're doing today. Oh yeah, let us not forget about this one either. I gotta pull the motor in that pretty soon. It needs new heads. That's another project that I got going on. So you guys see this right here? How it's kind of flaky? That's what I'm removing. Now what you want to do is you want to remove all of that, and then you know, it's still going to be brown. There's still going to be, you know, surface rust left behind here. But that's okay, because you got the majority of it gone. You can put a sealant or something over it, and you're good to go. Now this particular part here, this is just a brake, like dust shield. It's not super important, so I'm not actually going to coat this. But I just wanted to do this to show you guys basically how to take this stuff off. And this applies across the entire vehicle. A little wire brush and an air grinder. That's it. And just watch your angles, and off you go. See how that comes off like that? You can clean it right up. A little bit left here. And that's it. You just basically go over the entire car like that, and then depending upon your choice of coating, you coat it. And this will definitely, it doesn't stop cancer completely, but it slows it down enough. By cancer, I mean rust. Good old AutoZone brake cleaner. So I got all the surface rust off of here. Now we just got to get the dust off of there. This brake cleaner works great. I'm going to go ahead and hit it with this. Okay, so we're under the car now, and I'm looking up at the transmission crossmember here. Now this component, it has a decent amount of rust on it, but we should be able to take most of that shit off of there. So you want to, one of the things, you want to pay attention to the direction of your wheel. You don't want it spitting shit in your face. Now we're going to go in here and we're going to do this part of the fender with this rubberized undercoating. I've already cleaned it down pretty well. You don't have to have it perfect for this stuff. It's rubberized, it's pretty decent, but you do need to clean it. So now this stuff goes on real thick. It's almost like a tar base, to be quite honest. And I just go in short little bursts like this and just fill everything in. You don't have to go too crazy with it. It's actually pretty good coverage. See how much better that looks already? I get up in there. Way nicer, right? Maybe we'll get some new plastics. I don't know. Probably not. Alright, so this is still fender. And I'm really not doing anything different than what the factory already did. And here's the thing. If you can't get to it with the can, chances are nothing else was able to get to it either. It's these areas right here that get pummeled and essentially sandblasted. And all this stuff here. And then in the back, because the suspension is in, behind and there's sand and shit, I went ahead and used this on a lot more components back there for protection overall. You don't have to. It was just my personal choice. Again, this is all about restoration and preservation of an amazing chassis. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to show you we are basically halfway through the restoration, and I'm really proud of what I did. I mean, it may not be textbook perfect, but I think it's a hell of a lot better than it was. The main thing is we've got protective coatings to slow down the cancer. And I use that term loosely. This car really wasn't that bad. There's a lot of GCs that are way worse, but there was some surface rust by being a beach car. So there we go. It looks nice, right? Yeah, it's pretty good. We got some wheels coming in, and I went ahead and added a lip to the front. I got that installed. And here's the rears. Pretty nice, right? Now there's some things that I didn't actually coat. These things I'm going to end up replacing, like the sway bar. And possibly the coilovers. We'll see how they ride. But major areas where rust would collect have all been recoated. We are going to save this GC. Oh, look what arrived over here. We got something from Pseudo Auto Parts. Oh, guess what it is? It's the heads for the GC8. Yes, the heads. So where I get a lot of my parts from is from Subaru Genuine Used Auto Parts. I don't know if you guys have noticed this or not, but I tend to go through a lot of stuff. And all the guys there, SubiAutoParts.com, been great. Go check them out. So we've been working on it for about a week now. I've got some more parts coming in. I just finished the exhaust, and I want to start it up so you guys can hear it. I thought this was a really cool part. First, let me show you exactly what I did. Alright, to start out with, we've got a Pseudo header. This is unequal length, and interesting enough, it's got a flex joint, made a really nice install, super smooth. And then we go into a Pseudo test pipe. Now the Pseudo test pipe, that can you see there, that's not a catalytic converter, that's a cherry bomb or a resonator. So hopefully that'll take out some of the rasp. Then you go back to here. Now this spot we had a little trouble with. The flange on the Pseudo was not clocked correctly to match the flange on the HKS. So I took it over to Orlando and re-welded it, and he made it look really great. It fits perfect now. Also, you'll notice there's an O2 eliminator there on the right. That's kind of a cool little thing that basically limits the amount of exhaust that passes through the sensor. And then you got the HKS. HKS, super nice. It's all coated. I also have a K&N intake in here, filter element, and then I did a little modification to the intake. I took the silencer box off. There was a silencer that was sitting here. I removed that. I really don't need it. It's got another trap here for water and debris, and then yeah, another one here. So unless we're going, swamping with this thing, I think this intake will be fine. Oh, look at that! We got some Speedline Pro Drive P7 wheels. 17 by 7 plus 35.
There was another thing that I did, actually, it was a repair. So sometimes when these cars get older, the clutches, they wear down, and the throw distance needs to be adjusted. Or some people like their clutch engagement point a little bit higher, some like them a little bit lower. I like my clutch engagement right at the top. This one was right at the bottom. So I went underneath the car and I adjusted the clutch pedal. If you go under there and look, you'll see that there's a bar that comes out. It goes into the master cylinder. Basically, you back that clutch out a little bit, that way it has more push and it raises the engagement point to the top. If you want it to go down to the bottom, you push the rod in, it reduces it, and then it lowers it. So that's a little good tip you guys can do.
Oh, there it is. Now we get to check for exhaust leaks. Exhaust leaks, where are you? Well, I'd say we found a big exhaust leak. Yeah, I forgot to put the plug in. Whoops. So if you're wondering what all that smoke is about, that's because it's all new exhaust. So all the oil that's in there, when they make it, they spray it down with oil. It's all evaporating. So if this happens to you, don't freak out. Oh my god! Fucking ringlets, bro! It's dead. It's dead. So I've got through a lot of the mods, and the only one that's really actually kind of slowed me down was the exhaust. Good thing Orlando was there for that one. Now I have encountered something else that, dude, this is a little bit different. So when I did the coilovers on the STI, the brake lines were able to just come right out. Apparently on these, the way they have it set up is there's a little metal tab, and I actually have to cut that. So I have to get a grinding wheel down in there in between the brake lines and cut it out. If you look, you can see this is how much room I have to play with the cutting wheel. I've got about a half of an inch or so all around it, so it's safe to use it. I just have to be very, very careful. Alright, so we cut through. Now, it looks like we may have hit the bolt. I think we need to come back a little bit this way. I'm making little notches. That way you take this shit out in sections. You get some pliers down there and wiggle it out. Alright. Well, this one's a hard one. Alright. Here we go. Oh yeah, dude, that was nice. That shit came out like butter. So stage 1 of the Boostaholics GM6 restoration is finally complete. Some other things that I did that I didn't show you on camera because quite frankly it was boring was paint the headlights, upgraded to some Hella 500 fogs. I installed some ST coilover suspension, had it aligned. Oh, and it's lowered. Not bad, right? Would you just hear it? Beautiful Subaru Boxer rumble. What's interesting is the single overhead cam is actually pretty decent when it comes to like exhaust notes. This car by no means is fast. It's slower than hell, but I love it. It's really fun to drive. The exhaust is very rewarding. It pops and cackles and sounds pretty good.